Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and welcome to the next episode of the People's Questions. And before I begin, I would just like to apologize for this video being about a day late. I'm going to have a quick explanation to explain exactly what happened, as well as a second announcement explaining what is probably going to happen next week. So the reason why this video is a little bit late is because the last 3 days, I was actually planning a trip to go visit my dad's side of the family that live all the way on the East Coast. So on Wednesday, the day I usually film People's Questions, I was really just traveling, and I had to take 2 flights. One was 5 hours, and another one was 1 hour. So by the time I actually got to my location, it was like 5 at night. So I really just didn't have the lighting to film that day. And then on Thanksgiving Day itself, I was really just kind of helping around the house with the family. And I was actually able to go out and visit my dad's gravesite because I wasn't able to go to his funeral. So, I was just kind of out with family and we were just doing a lot of talking. And then the following day, which was yesterday, I pretty much was just flying back. And I had to fly from my location there all the way to San Francisco, and then San Francisco back to Vegas. By the time I got home, again, it was just really, really dark. So that's just a quick explanation of exactly what happened, and while this video is a day late. So by the time you guys see this, I actually recorded the day that I'm uploading it. So I'm going to jump right into the first set of questions, because I got about 6 questions from 6 of you, and they seem to be all regulars except for perhaps maybe one newbie, I think. So the first question comes from Dylan McLaughlin, and you want to know, do I think there will be any surprises revealed at PlayStation X or PlayStation Experience? I hope so. They've already kind of announced a couple of things that we know we're going to see. Like, apparently there's a new DLC coming for Uncharted 4, so that's going to be exciting to see. I'm sure they're going to show off some more PlayStation VR things. Hopefully we'll get an update on Final Fantasy VII. So, I don't think there'll be too many surprises. But I think they'll maybe have 1 or 2 cool things to show off that'll make the whole conference worth seeing. So yeah, I do. Your next question comes from Santiago Scarpino, and he wants to know, what do I think happens to Raiden after Metal Gear Rising? Not really sure. I guess after killing Armstrong, he just kind of just went back to his job as being pretty much a sword for hire. That's really the best guess I got. Next question comes from Matt Cruse. You want to know, if I could remaster a version of any game, what would it be? Oh, that's a good one. If I could remaster any game, I would probably pick Call of Duty World at War. I have not had a chance to play Modern Warfare, but I've just heard nothing but good things about it. So I would love for them to do that with World at War, which is without question my favorite Call of Duty game of all time. Next question comes from Joe O'Colit. Hope I said that right. And he wants to know, do I think CQC could beat an Inchani martial artist? No. This kind of goes into your question of comparing why someone like Solid Snake or Big Boss probably couldn't win against a Jedi. The problem with CQC is that it's not a sustained martial artist. It's more of a combat takedown system. It's not designed for long-term engagements. You're meant to just take down your opponent relatively quickly. As opposed to Inchani, which is an actual martial artist like Taekwondo or Judo or Karate. It actually has a sustained martial art fighting style. So when you take someone who's been trained to take down people relatively quickly and you throw them into a contest against someone who can actually sustain a fight, then the person who's using CQC might be at a disadvantage. If you actually watch the 2 fights that you see between Big Boss and the Boss, you'll notice that those fights aren't sustained. It's like one person makes a move, automatic takedown. It's not meant to go on over a period of time. You're meant to take down your opponent relatively quickly, and if you can't do that, then you're at a disadvantage, especially if you're using CQC. Next question comes from, I believe, the only newbie of the episode. I may be wrong, but you go by the name of Ladybug 012, and you want to know, Do I think that all the Final Fantasies are in one universe, or do they have their own universe separately? As far as we know, all of these stories are separate. There are a number of elements that are trademarks of the franchise that you see from game to game. But as far as I know, they're all their own individual universes. They don't really connect at all. I think the only thing that really kind of connects them are the Dissidia games. But I think that's more of like a what if we took one character or two characters from each game and we put them on one storyline. But as far as we all know, they're all separate, and I think that they should keep it that way. And a last question of the episode comes from Brandon Williams, and he wants to know: am I a fan of the Dragon Ball games? And if so, which game is my favorite? I have not had a chance to play any of the more recent Dragon Ball games, but without question, my favorite Dragon Ball game is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I think that it's a massive improvement over the first two Budokai games, and I think that because it's probably the simplest, I think it has the best collection of characters without getting too much. I think it's really easy to jump in and play. I think it's more reminiscent of like something like the more 2D type of fighting games, which is what I prefer, even though you can kind of move around in a 3D plane. And there's just a lot of gameplay mechanics I think it had that really made it innovative for its time. So if there was any Dragon Ball Z game that I would love to play now, which I could probably pick it up and just play it on my PlayStation 3 over here, it would definitely be Budokai 3. And with that, those are all the questions that you guys have for me for this episode. I'd like to thank the 6 of you for making this episode possible. And before I give my official closing, I just want to announce what I'm going to be doing next week. In about 7 days, I will actually be going on another trip to PlayStation Experience. So yes, for its 3rd year, I'm finally going to a PlayStation Experience convention. This is actually going to be probably my first gaming convention I've been to probably since E3 2013, so it's just been way too long. So if there is anything that you guys would like me to do or get footage of or see, or maybe see if I can get a review for, since technically I'm not media, but I'll see what I can do, please let me know in the comments down below. And that also goes for your questions for next week's episode, which by the time I upload that video, I'll actually be in Anaheim, California, so I'm not really sure if I'll have time to upload. I'll probably do it before I leave to go to the convention, but that's just what I will be doing next Friday, and that's just what my plans are going into next week. So with that out of the way, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, because you're all awesome, and I will see you next time.